an honor to be here at Teachers College to discuss Science Genius, in particular on 12-12-12. Since 2001, I've done something to commemorate the triple number date. But I can't think of a better way to culminate the tradition to be here with all of you to talk about this program. Most people associate Wu-Tang with Staten Island. But I was born in Brooklyn and lived in mostly all the boroughs by the time I was 10. Native New Yorker. I left high school in the 10th grade, and it was one of my greatest regrets in life. I am here not as a teacher, nor expert, nor genius. These guys are the experts. But I'm here as a science enthusiast who wants to inspire New York City public high school students to get excited about biology, chemistry, and physics. I wish there had been a more compelling way to captivate my imagination about science when I was in school. The interaction between matter and energy has always aroused my interest and curiosity. When I was around 6, about the age of 6 years old, I can remember playing with 2 pieces of steel or metal. One of them was magnetic and the other was not. And the piece with the magnetic attracted the piece without. I flipped them in opposite directions and they repelled each other as if some force was pushing them apart. I found this fascinating, very fascinating. Years later, I would come to learn that every single atom in our body came from the cores of stars that was created billions of years ago. From the skin cells to the iron in our blood, the carbon in our genes to the gold on your finger, all created over 13 billion years ago. Not only is that very interesting connection, it is also a great one. This is a very unique bond that makes you look at life in a whole different perspective and see the beauty in everything. In the last year, I was able to meet with some top scientists in the world, some of the top scientists in the world, including those whom we just heard from. At MIT, I met with biological oceanographer Penny Chisholm, geneticist Eric Lander, founding director of the Broad Institute at MIT. At Cornell University, I met Alexander Gaeta, and last but not least, Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was incredibly humbling and inspiring to meet with these people, but I do believe the future Pennies, Davis, Neils are the young students that are in the New York City public schools today. Not only was it interesting to see how dedicated and committed they were to their work, but it was also interesting to see how excited they were to hear I was incorporating science in my works. My next album will be called Dark Matter, which is scheduled to be released in 2013. It will be a cosmic journey through the universe, galactic adventure, a personal look into the dark and distant past and the bright future, this cosmic web of galaxies, quasars, black holes, and all these other interesting things that's in that big clump of soup. Speaking about, this is matter that influences the evolution of the universe gravitationally. My goal is to influence the evolution of hip-hop in schooling gravitationally by pulling students in. Now that hip-hop has become the single most dominant cultural touchstone in the lives of most youth, Chris Edmond, Rap Genius, and I have come together to sponsor Science Genius. We choose hip-hop as an art form to educate the listeners about scientific topics. As I said before, I'm not a science teacher. I go into classrooms as an artist and provide a model for students to communicate the information learned from their science teachers. My role in the process is to encourage students to compose creative writing, not just through rhyme, but through a metaphoric narrative approach to animate science concepts so that the material can be digested by the students in an interdisciplinary way. The rhymes are a starting point to introduce this technique of seeing science in a new way, in new context. I challenge students to not be too literal and write compelling stories. Make it half short, twice strong. Light is an atom or hydrogen, so it's not too heavy and doesn't trouble the souls of the listener. But heavy as a neutron star is mind-boggling. One thing I try to impart in the classroom that the rhyme must be clear, eloquent, witty, and clever. I challenge students to make sense of complex information while maintaining high standards of serious lyricism. I believe that science is important because it helps you gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your surroundings. Knowledge of one's environment, specifically through science, can increase self-awareness, confidence, and critical thinking skills that can translate outside the classroom. I just heard a commercial on today that said children need to learn science in order to succeed in this global society. I believe that to be true. Hip-hop is important because using a vehicle the students are already familiar with decreases their resistance to the technical jargon in science, giving them more control over their communication while incorporating science concepts into their everyday vocabularies. Thank you for coming to show your support. Renee?
So yeah, man, I about to fight that first line. At this point, we just want to have anybody who has any questions to sort of line up in the aisle over here and over here. The microphones are set up already. You can pose questions.